Hello and welcome back to the Guitar in a Year, Beginner to Intermediate. I'm your instructor, Korey Hicks, and we are in week number 45. We're going to begin our lesson today with the D shape of CAGED. This is our final shape of CAGED, and then I'm going to show you how to practice this in every single key moving forward. So it looks like this. And that is one of the shapes that a lot of people get confused. So if you've ever heard something like this, I'm walking down to the minor chord. I have the key of G, for example, and then I'm doing a D over F sharp down to the E minor. It's a very common thing. So this shape shows up all over the place in music, especially if you're playing pop, rock, worship, R&B, funk. All these different types of music are going to have this chord in it. Now I'm playing it way up here. Obviously we're going to take these shapes and move them around. But this is the number one shape that I see that people don't have a handle on or they learn incorrectly. In most books on CAGED, someone's going to show it to you like this. So this is the G chord in the D shape. So I have a G triad with my G note in the bottom. And that's really not how we play this in music. If I want that chord, I'm going to be using it as a function, meaning that in this case I'm in the key of C, and I want to walk down to my A minor chord. So open position, it would look like this. But we're playing it here. Okay, so enough talk about that. Let's talk about how to actually finger this thing. So it is going to be a D chord with F sharp in the bass. You can play it like this if you want with the thumb over the neck in the open position, but I'm going to show it to you up here so we can do it as a movable shape. So I have my middle finger on F sharp on the 2nd fret. Now remember, the 2nd fret, 14th fret, they're the same thing. Anything above 12 I look at as restarting the octave, so to speak. So I have my middle finger on the 14th fret. I have my 1st finger on the 12th fret. I have my ring finger on the G string on the 14th fret, and my pinky is going to be on the B string on the 15th fret. We are not playing the A string at all in this chord. It's actually muted underneath. The high E string is muted as well. Okay? This chord can be a bit of a challenge in the beginning to get right, so I really recommend moving it around, okay? Now, as you go back this way, you're going to get more of a spread with your hand, so it can be a little uncomfortable, so go slow. We're starting up here. This is a D over F sharp, or the D form of CAGED. My 1st finger on the D string is actually my root. I have another root on the pinky on the B string, so you can use either of those markers to find yourself, okay? So starting way up here on the 14th fret, 12th fret, 14th fret, 15th fret, we're going to walk it back to see how this creates all the other slash chords we're talking about. That's D over F sharp. This is D flat over F. C over E. So that would be used in the key of C. It could be used in the key of G. So you'd be thinking about any key that has a major chord in it. There's a B over D sharp. Now I'm playing B flat over D, A over C sharp, very common chord, A flat over C natural, G over B, very common, F sharp over A sharp, probably less common, but it still happens, especially in the key of B. Here's my F over A, very common, my E over G sharp. Now watch what happens. Here's my E flat over G. Now, D over F sharp again. So I've gotten all the way down here to the 2nd fret. Now notice, it's the same thing as playing it like this, okay? So when you see people playing in songs, sometimes they'll play it like this. And that's okay, but I don't do that personally because I know that this is a movable shape. And I want to get as much practice with playing more challenging things as possible. I'm not going to take the shortcut here. So this is really what's happening with that chord. Notice my first finger isn't doing anything at all, but it is the open D string. So I'm mimicking that motion so that I can move it up. If you wanted to cycle for this chord, which we will be doing later on, we're going to have to find the roots with our first finger. So I play C, then I play F, then I play B flat, then I play E flat, then I play A flat, D flat, then we play F sharp, then we're going to play our B, then we're going to play our E, then we're going to play our A, then we're going to play D, then we're going to play G. Okay? So it's a little bit more challenging to find things on the D string, but if you think about it, it's no different than learning things on the low E string and doing it that way. It's just a different string that we have to memorize. Remember, you can use your W pattern to find those things. If I'm doing something a little unconventional, like F sharp over A sharp, I'm finding this by knowing my major scale, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B natural, right? So I'm moving through my scale, okay? So I'm thinking of the third note of that scale. You can also think of what's the third pattern in that key. If I'm playing an F sharp major scale, pattern 1's there, pattern 2 is there, and pattern 3 is here. So all I would do is go to where pattern 3 starts, and there's that note. So if you want some practice with this, let's do a chord progression that's C major. That's the G form of C, the D form of G, A minor, and then I'm playing an F chord using the C shape. That should sound familiar to you. That's how you would play a 1-5-6-4 chord progression using CAGED in this spot. We can come up with a few other 1-5-6-4s. If I was doing C here, 1, 5, 6, 4. So I'd go C with the A shape, G with the E shape, A minor, F with the D shape. And so you can do this with every single one of your CAGED chords. It's really what's happening when we're doing C, G, A minor, F. We're using the C form to the G form, A minor to the F. Now some of you might be asking, well, where are these minor forms of the CAGED? We actually don't have a lot of them. And that's something we'll be talking about when we get into inversions of seventh chords and other triadic inversions. So we're just going to focus on the major ones for right now. And we're going to be playing this in all keys, of course. And I'm going to show you how to practice that in just a moment. But just to finish up this right here, I have C, G, A minor, F. I move up to the next one. C, G, A minor, F. I move up to the next one. C, G, A minor, F. And then I move up to the next one. C, G, A minor, F. And I move up to the next one. C, G, and I would have A minor, F. Now some of these will take a little bit longer to learn, but it's totally worth your time in whatever key of the day that you're working on to be able to do this. So now, how do we practice all of our CAGED chords? Well, obviously we're going to be doing something with cycle 4, and it's actually pretty simple. I'm going to go through starting at the lowest available CAGED chord for any one of these, and I'm going to play all 5 of them. So it would look like this. C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, then we'd have F sharp, B, E, A, and finally D. So be able to play those as fast as possible. Remember, when you're practicing this stuff, you want to practice it so that it's instantly recallable information. So I like to speed this thing up a little bit. C, F, B flat, E flat, You get the idea. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. There's 60 of them, so if you're putting all these things together, you would practice all 60. Now, when we go into this whole practicing plan of doing 1 key per day, you do the 3 major chords of that key. All right, so let's take a look at the patterns that are inside of our D form of CAGED. Now, if I'm in the key of D, all I have to think about is, on my D major day, what pattern do I play here? When you're playing these patterns, you're always starting off with the lowest available pattern. So the lowest available pattern at D major is going to be pattern 2. Then I play pattern 3 here. And so what we have to do is recall this information. We have to know where I'm playing a pattern for each note of the scale. I need to know that when I play pattern 5 at D major, it's here. That's what you're retaining. Don't just practice these patterns so that you can play them. What you're trying to do is remember that that's where pattern 5 at D major is. I need to remember that this is where pattern 6 at D major is. I need to remember that this is where pattern 7 of D major is. I need to remember that this is where pattern 1 of D major is. And I need to remember that this is pattern 2 of D major. Oh, wait a minute. That's in the same location as the chord. And so if I say there every time I play a note of that chord, there, 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 I get this chord. Now, on the diagram, which is over on Patreon, you're going to see this shape inside of pattern 2. So the 4 chord in the key of A, I have to think of an A major scale in this location. So I can just ask myself, what pattern of the A major scale do I play in this location? And it would be pattern 5. Now you can do all the work of saying, okay, on the day of A major, where do I start? I would play pattern 5 at the open string, right? Then I play pattern 6 here. I'd play pattern 7 here. I'd play pattern 1 here. We're getting closer. I'd play pattern 2 here. I'd play pattern 3 here. I'd play pattern 4 here. Oh, here we go. Here's pattern 5 way up here. You'll notice that chord inside of it. Same thing is true for D major as the 5 chord in the key of G. You would go through the same process and you would find that that chord is inside of pattern 6. All right, we're also going to move on to our next pages of modern method today. We're going to be taking a look at pages 18 and 19. This is kind of when the difficulty level tends to ramp up a little bit. We're going to be taking a look at eighth notes, and it's a little bit more challenging because it's coming at you faster. So let's take a look at the top of page 18. I'm going to be playing open position, obviously. C, D, E, F, G. There's a G sharp, so we have to raise the G to a G sharp. A, B, C, B, A flat. Notice when we go up in a scale, we're kind of putting it as a sharp, and we go down, we're kind of lowering it to a flat. And then we got G, F, E, D, C. Now we have this little sequence that's played. D, D, E, F, F, G, G sharp, A, B, C, B, A flat, G, F, E, D, C, D, E, F, G, G sharp, A, B, C, B, A flat, G, F, E, D, C, F, E, D, C, G, C. All right, so let's try that in time. I'm going to put on the metronome here. Now, because we're playing quite a bit faster, I'm going to be putting this on as 60 beats per minute. So I just want to show you what exercise 1 sounds like with the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're probably noticing a little weird buzz, and that's on my D string. So, as I'm recording this, it's the beginning of the month in November, and this is around the time when your guitar is going to start changing. Different humidity levels and different temperatures are going to make the wood expand or contract depending on where you live. And in my case, I noticed that just this morning, the action on my guitar dropped significantly. And this neck flattened out, which is usually what happens in the winters. Your neck gets straighter. In the summer, your neck is going to go more in this direction, so creating more relief because of all the rain and moisture and humidity. So this is a reason to keep a humidifier in your room. I'm going to plug mine in today. But that's kind of an interesting thing. I just wanted to stop for a minute. You hear that? And I do notice that on my nut here, that nut slot is cut just a little bit too deep. So I'm going to have to mess with that a little bit. It's just part of the thing of dealing with your guitars. You're never going to be able to have a guitar that plays exactly the same year round. We do have to adjust things. The great thing about our guitars is that if you've already set up the action to be perfect, I set mine up at the 17th fret to be 5/64ths of an inch, so it's about 2 millimeters, and with 10,000ths of an inch of relief. So when I have to adjust my neck, and I use a special tool to kind of get in there and adjust the truss rod, just have to take the pickguard off on this one, I can adjust that, and all I'm looking for is for that to return to 5/64ths. If it does, then I know that I've returned to the way this guitar played in the summer. It doesn't take much. You don't have to really take it to a luthier again or anything like that. Depending on what brand or manufacturer you have, almost all of them have a truss rod. So if you like the way your action plays when the guitar is perfectly set up, when the new season happens, you just have to adjust the neck. So I think when I was a younger kid, I may have, when this happened and I was afraid of changing anything on my neck, so I would just adjust the saddles. Don't do that. It's just the neck that needs adjusting. The saddles will be fine if they've already been set up. Okay, so let's go back to this example here, and I'm actually going to speed this up because I want you to hear what this would sound like at a more intense tempo. So I'm going to do 100. So this is quite a bit faster, but this is kind of like where you would eventually want to get up to. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and it is totally doable to get up to that tempo. So let's take a look at exercise number 2. Now this has traditionally been quite a bit of a challenge for beginners, so take your time with this one. You notice that the notes are going to be switching kind of in the middle of the beat here. We have C, D, E, F. So there's 4 of each note, but it always switches. It always is going to switch before the next beat happens. Kind of strange. But let's play this and I'll show you what it's supposed to sound like. Exercise number 2. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and... Let's see what this one would sound like at a higher tempo. I'll do it at 100. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's move on to exercise number 3. This one looks extremely challenging, but it's based off of a sequence that just kind of moves up through the scale. So we're going to take this at 60 beats per minute as well, and I want to show you what this one sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4, C, D, E, D, C, 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 C. That's that sequence, and you're going to notice it repeated. It's going to go up and back, down, Okay, so that's the first 3 systems. Now you're going to notice that it starts over on the D. Next system, it starts over on the E, then the F, then the G, then the A. I'm going to put the metronome at 50 beats per minute. Try and sight read this. One of the things that we always tell students is even though you're going to make mistakes, try to sight read it. Remember, sight reading is a different skill than memorizing and working up a song. So if you work this up like an etude where you play it perfectly, that's not really the goal. The goal is to be able to sight read something at first sight, meaning you've never seen this music before in your life and you've developed the skills to sight read. Kind of like you'd pick up a newspaper or a magazine or a book or something. You're going to be able to read it. You don't have to practice the book first. And so we have to just practice reading with all of the different mistakes and things that are going to happen. So I have this metronome set at 50 beats per minute. We're going to start at the top and just read this thing all the way down to the bottom. No matter what happens, just keep on going. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now we have through page 19 in Modern Method. We have all of our caged chords, we have all of our scales, we have all of our triads and strings 1 through 3 and 2 through 4. We have bar chords, we have note recognition. So let's say that we were putting together a practice regimen for the key of F. I would do a couple of minutes with the metronome with my note recognition. Right, those are all my F notes. Then I'd play all my scales in the key of F, play all your bar chords in the key of F, play all your caged chords in the key of F. So I play all of these. So those are my Fs. And the 4 chord is B flat, right? Then C. So now I would be playing all of those, and you'll notice that all of those will line up with the patterns exactly how we've described over the last couple of lessons. And then you'd practice your triad, so I'd start off with the F here, then I'd go on to my G minor, then my A minor, and on and on and on through all of those. Remember to do them diatonically. F major, G minor, A minor, B flat major, C major, D minor, E diminished, back to F. And do the same thing for every single one of these. F, G minor, A minor, B flat, C, then D minor, E diminished, F. Be able to do that for every single one of these. Start putting together chord progressions on strings 2 through 4. 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, 4. That way you can use these things and be doing all of these in one key. Then tomorrow you'd go to B flat. All right, I want to do one last thing today, and that's going to be adding in our 4th arpeggio. This is going to be the half-diminished arpeggio. So if you remember our minor 7 arpeggio, a half-diminished arpeggio is just a minor 7 flat 5. So if you're memorizing all of these based on the chord tones, 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3, 5, 7 for the major 7, 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 1, 3, 5, flat 7 for the dominant, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7 for the minor 7. Take that one and just flat the 5th. 1, flat 3, flat 5, flat 7. 1, flat 3, flat 5, flat 7. Now that you have all the diatonic arpeggios, you can put together an entire key. Remember, it's major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Major 7, minor 7, minor 7, major 7, dominant 7th, minor 7, flat 5. So if I was going to do this for the key of B flat, for example, I play B flat major 7, C minor 7, D minor 7, E flat major 7, F dominant 7th, G minor 7, and an A half diminished. And so you're going to notice that each one of these is inside of our scale patterns. That's inside pattern 5 of B flat major. That's inside of pattern 6. That's inside of pattern 7. That's inside of pattern 1. That's inside pattern 2. That's inside pattern 3. And that's inside of pattern 4. So you take these arpeggios for the key that you're doing. Let's just go back to F major because that was the key we were talking about. I'm going to the 2, G minor 7. A minor 7 is the 3. Then I'm going to go to B flat major the 4. Then we have a C7 as the 5. Then we have a D minor 7 as the 6. And then we're going to have E minor 7 flat 5 as the 7. And you're going to notice that that does sound like the key. That sounds like going up in the diatonic series of the key of F major, because it is. And each one of those arpeggios falls squarely within the pattern that's in that region of the neck. All right, well, if you have any questions on today's lesson, go ahead and put them in the comments below. If this has been helpful, go ahead and hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. We're going to be doing quite a bit in practicing regimens and putting all this stuff together over the next couple of weeks in preparation for our performance exam, the final of this entire course, which is going to be on week number 52. All right, reach out to me if you have any questions. Go on over to Patreon for the PDF, and I will see you next week in week number 46. Peace.